Hi, everyone. Once again, a very good morning to all of you. Myself, CA Vikas Ahuja, and this is the second session of our Happy Excel uh, classes, which are organized by CA Rajendra Arora. And I was really excited to come again to uh, showcase something new to my dear friends. And again, I would just like to remind you about the upcoming elections and our beloved friend, my elder brother, Sierra Jandar Arora is contesting that. So don't forget to vote and support him for such lovely and full of learning initiatives to come up in the future as well. So I think in the last session, what we discussed it is this bubble diagram, which I'm sure my friends would have loved it. And so this time I am planning to show something of this sort. I'll explain what it is. And the way I'm now thinking to structure over this past 1 week is that I touched upon the sales area last time, wherein we discuss about the customer and the say the profitability, customer product profitability, where we can talk about customer wise, region wise, product wise, country wise, salesperson wise, and customer product wise, or project level profitability. Like in case of LNT, there are projects, so project level profitability is also possible. So what I'm planning to do is touch upon the complete profit and loss structure. So from the top to bottom, like in profit and loss, first we have a sales area. So we touched upon sales to some extent when we talk about customer profitability. I'm thinking to touch upon the productivity portion this time. This will be a productivity chart. I'm going to discuss it how. So idea is to go in each element of sale and do it uh, to some level. I don't want to touch the basic Excel stuff, but still, if we get a lot of requests to go in that area, I can do some advanced Excel in that area as well. And for that, you can route your requests through C. Rajendra Rolaji, or you may put in your comment as well, which I will have a look at. And in the next session, I will try to summarize it in some shape and form, or in the upcoming session as per your demand. So, coming to our topic this time, the graph that you see in front of you is a line graph. It's nothing else, it's just a line graph. And I have converted into a dotted graph. And why I have done this is, you see this graph captures data for 6 months, and it shows daily productivity at an hourly level, but still it is captured in a very fancy manner, which makes it very focused. Let me show you the base data for this. This is the base data. So I have taken an example where there is a daily production happening in any manufacturing setup. I just take basic examples so that I can reach more and more audience and make them understand how this graph is generally acceptable. But if you have any specific requests, we can take on your data as well, with obviously ensuring confidentiality of your clients. But still, we can see how we can present it in a different manner. So this is tonnage, okay? Metric tons. So this is tonnage. Hours is okay, per day working hours for that plant. How many number of hours on that particular day production ran. So on 8th of May 2020, production ran for 8 hours and it produced 1093 tons on that day. TPH is tonnage per hour. The very basic thing, yeah. I have just considered only one product. Yeah. Actually, they were more than one product, but I have considered one product because when we make this kind of a graph, it's better to make it product wise. Okay. So what we can do is, this is the tonnage per hour that is getting produced. Yeah. Per day. Per day, this plant ran for 8 hours and it produced 1093 tons at the tonnage per hour of 137. So in 1 hour, it was producing 137 on 8th of May, which rose to 152 on 9th of May, and so on. Yeah. So there are around hundreds of 100 line items here. So now I just want to make meaning out of this data. This is just the data dump as of now. And if we do the total, number of hours it worked is around 2565. Total comes to 426,000 tons. And if I see total TPH, average TPH is 166. Yeah. What is the average tonnage per hour? We just saw it 166. Yeah. I'll just mention 166 here. And there has to be some planned TPH, right? Now I'll just write TPH because I'm sure now everyone understand what TPH is. Let's say the planned TPH was 160. Okay. Planned TPH is basically your annual plan or your budget at what rate you want to run it. Now I just pick this date column. I pick this tonnage per hour column and the average TPH and the planned TPH. Same way, I go to insert, put in a graph, this scatter diagram. It's actually looking scattered, right? Yeah. So tonnage per hour is a cluster diagram. Yes, we actually need it in that form. So I'll keep it this scatter. Average tonnage per hour I need in the line graph, and the planned TPH also I need in the line graph. Okay. So now I tell you the purpose of these. Yeah. So this each dot in this data depicts the TPH as I just told you in the Excel data dump. So this shows me the actual opportunity that exists in that company. And let me get it in the same 1 second. Yeah, I think now it makes more sense. Let me get this also removed. There are the basic things that you have to do so that your graph looks good. Yeah. So there is nothing in the 50 in on the y-axis, so I just removed it. Yeah. Okay. So as you see, the planned TPH is this line, which is which is 160. Yeah. This is the planned TPH, the plan that we created when we initiated in the beginning. And 166 is something that we have actually achieved. Overall basis, it looks good, right? This guy planned a TPH or tonnage per hour of productivity, you can say whatever you may want to call it, of 160. Against 160, this guy has achieved 166. But the bigger insight lies here is what is the potential? How much can it actually achieve? How much can it actually achieve? So if you see, there are hiccups, right? There are few dots here as well, which forces us to think what went wrong here. What went wrong here? Why I did not do well in this in the on these days? ये नीचे क्यों इतना नीचे जा रहा है? ये टीपीएच जो है 70 80 90, जो मुझे एक एवरेज नंबर देखकर पता नहीं चल पा रहा था, वो मुझे इस ग्राफ से पता चल गया. So if you see, it is actually a line graph. I tell you, I was telling you it's a line graph. Let me just show you how. It's just a line graph. Yeah. What I have done is just to make it look more jazzy and more insightful, I have removed the lines. When you remove the lines, something of this sort comes up. It's just the marker dots that I have kept so that I can focus on this date, 23rd, 25th July, 2nd August. There are dots. There are, in this case, there are no dots. Now, this also forces me to think why there are no dots. That means there was no production on those days. On these days, that is what we do, right? As an auditor or as a consultant, these are the things which we see. Because what will happen eventually, if you understand properly, this 166 will shoot up. If you ask these questions now, 166 will actually go up. So here you see my plan was once, and mind me, I have maintained confidentiality. This is actual data. There is no dummy data that I have created. This is actual data, but I've maintained adequate confidentiality. So I have changed the dates. I have just changed the date so that I'm not disclosing anything, and I'm not disclosing any company's name as well. But this is the actual data. So this gives an insight that 166 is not the actual potential. Maybe when I planned in such a bad manner that it should not have been 160. It should have been more than that. Because if a plant can run with these dots, which shows my actual potential lies somewhere higher. My actual potential is somewhere here, if you see, my friend. I use these colors like this so that this gives an insight to my client as well what I'm trying to say. So this should be my maybe a focus line. Around 170 plus is something that I should focus. And there is a logic. This data is telling the logic. Why I should target 170 and not 166, even though I have achieved 166. Why should I target 170? This data is speaking. I don't need to convince anyone. अगर मैं सिर्फ एवरेज लेके जाता क्लाइंट के पास कि भाई 160 का आपने प्लान बनाया था, आपने 166 अचीव करा है, अब आपको अगले साल 166 बनाना चाहिए. If I'm a smart consultant, I'll go to this much depth and I'll tell him, no sir, 166 तो आप बहुत कम कह रहे हो, आपने तो 166 अंडर अचीव करा है. You should actually do more. One more insight, if you guys have noticed here, is this progress is going down. Shouldn't we ask this? Shouldn't we question our client कि भाई ये नीचे क्यों गया था? ऐसा क्या प्रॉब्लम हुआ था कि इस दौरान प्रोडक्शन जो है जून से लेके जुलाई, मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 20-25 days, probably a month, continuously there is a fall, right? Continuously there is a fall. Is this not something that we should question? And this is all I have just created. In fact, when I originally created for my clients discussion, I did not highlight these points. I highlighted very less points. With more and more you analyze the data, more and more insights you come out with. So, and what about the potential? See, this is the potential. This is the maximum achievement. 181. 181 is the actual achievement in 24 hours on this day, 18th of August 2020. The plant ran on 180 pph per day. So this shows the true potential of that plant to the client. Instead of just saying 166, I can question why not 181 as a benchmark. Still, you're opening everyone's eyes and you are telling them their own data in a different manner. In an actually, you're actually talking in the business language, that what is the true value, what is the true productivity, what is the true capacity of the client's plant. And I have seen my when guys, this has actually changed the way clients think about us. They ask us many times before finalizing their business plans, their budgets. They ask our views to comment if they're doing it uh, in a proper manner, or there is still an opportunity to further enhance the productivity, profit, quantity, sales, etc., etc., etc. So let me do it once again for you guys. I'll remove it. I'll do it from the beginning once again. Yep. So this is the data. This is the tonnage we had. Yeah. Tonnage per hour is the average that we calculated. Doing total of the two, I'll remove this as well so that I do completely from the beginning. Settings, yeah. So we did total of these, total of hours, then average we calculated. This is the average tonnage per hour we kept here, and we kept 160. So after we inserted a graph, we went on to change chart type. We selected combo. In the first one, the tonnage per hour, we selected scatter diagram. No secondary axis. Okay, we want everything on the single axis. Line graph. This also line graph. It's perfectly fine. And then we just stretched it. And in these kind of graphs, more the data, the better it is. Yeah. So the same thing that came up. Yes, then we adjusted the axis. Just keep useful information in your graph. No point having things which does not make sense at all. Starting after 70, so let's keep it from 70. Yeah. And then we checked upon this one. This is the highest point. So I just colored it in this color because my line is in this color, so that it's easy for client to connect which number belongs to which number. So if I populate all the numbers just to One second. Sorry, I was not trying to do this. Yeah, it looks so clumsy. But I just wanted to see these numbers. See, 84, 91, 86. Let us just remove all of it because we don't need this. Add label. This is 181, so that we show true potential to the client. And I want to put numbers here as well. See, like these numbers we did not put the first time we did it. This is again just to, when I saw it second time, I thought, okay, it's good to capture this as well because this is giving a good insight in terms of what can be improved further in this graph. Make sure, guys, everyone votes. Whosoever is eligible to do that. And don't forget ballot number 2. C. Rajendra Arora. And yeah, okay. Yeah. So these are the lines above my average. These are the dots above my average. These are the dots below my average. So I can rather ask कि भैया ये कम क्यों है? Because if I just need to focus on these which are below my average, which are below 166. If I can somehow manage to make it above my average, then automatically my complete average will go up. So my focus is very less right now. I don't need to focus on everything in this graph, and I can just discuss, okay, why on these particular dates my average was less, why I'm not fixing 181 as a target, and 181 is the true potential that I can achieve. And probably 170, 175 is something that I plan for, and why there are no production on these days, which we just noticed. On these 3, 4 days, there is no production. And of course, if we fix up these, like, these 3 days production is added, these productions are improved, this downfall would have not happened, these 4 or 5 dots which are below my average, this would have actually resulted in a good jump in the average tonnage per hour that we achieved. So this is the insight that's come out of this, which will ultimately increase productivity or bring some logical conclusion on table. And again, we're talking about client's language. As I mentioned last time, it's important to speak with client in the same language as they speak, and this is the language that I'm sure all of your clients must be speaking. Now, how to use it might differ, but this is applicable wherever there is a continuous production, or let's say continuous. You can do it line wise. I mean production line wise, because sometimes there are different stages of production. You can do it different stage wise, and you can do it if one product is running at one line and another line is working on another product. So again, product line wise, probably you can do, or wherever there is a productivity involved. So with this, I sum up this session, and don't forget, guys, uh, elections are here. Voting day is 3rd and 4th of December. Vote Mr. C. Rajendra Arora, ballot number 2, and to enjoy these learning initiatives in the future as well. And happy to get your comments in the comment section, and more like, share, and subscribe so that we reach more and more of our friends and share our knowledge. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Have a nice Sunday. Thanks, everyone.